I've actually said for years that Trick Room is actually a playstyle that is easier to play than a lot of like the other hyper aggressive teams, because you don't need to focus on what your opponents are doing. You don't need to focus on taunting them or like fake outing them or stopping them from doing anything. You just need to focus on what you're doing. Instead of it being like a PvP game, like realistically, it's almost like a PvE game, like a player versus environment game. It is Thursday, and we are on VGC Masterclass number 9, where we teach you how to play VGC creatively correctly. And yeah, this is going to be the Trick Room Defensive Triangle. You know, we did a video or a Masterclass session last week that talked about like the every ladder team needs at least 2 of these 3 options, and we talked about like having Rage Powder, Fake Out, and Tailwind, and how having those in your team preview can give you an advantage in the team preview phase of the game to basically force your opponent to respect all of your defensive options. And a lot of people asked what that would look like for Trick Room and why I didn't mention Trick Room in that little, you know, triangle there. And that's because I said Trick Room is its own sort of different mind game. That's how I like to look at Trick Room, and what I've done today is boiled down the 3 main things every single Trick Room team needs to work, at least in Reg I, but this also makes sense in a lot of the other formats the game's ever had. So if you're looking at this in like 10 years, this will still probably be, a valuable resource for you. So that being said, the Trick Room Defensive Triangle, you can see it's multiple different Trick Room setters, it's ways to mitigate damage, and then it's redirection. We're going to be breaking down what those are in this little session here. But if you guys like these sort of sessions, you want to see more, think about checking out the YouTube. We're uploading all of these videos up to YouTube in edited form, so they're as easy to digest as possible. We're making daily, Pokemon VGC Masterclass posts on Patreon, so think about checking out all that other stuff if you guys want to see more. If you guys want to learn about VGC before Pokemon Champions comes out, the Masterclass is a pretty good thing to check out. So that being said, the Trick Room Defensive Triangle, every single Trick Room team needs these 3 things. And again, I've already kind of broken down what they are here, but you need 2 to 3 Trick Room setters with different defensive types. I think that's actually really, really important. A lot of people will be like, I got 3 setters, and then like they all have dark weakness. So it's like a Snarl user comes in and you lose the game, right? You also need redirection. This can be things like Follow Me. This can be things like Rage Powder. This can be things like Ally Switch. Bunch of different forms of redirection. You need at least a little bit of one of them. And then some way to mitigate damage on the first turn. And that's such a vague idea, but we're going to break into it. That could be things like Fake Out. That can be things like Screens. That could be things like a Final Gambit user. Anything one of your Mons can do to say one of your opponent's Mons is not dealing as much damage, you need just a little sprinkle of that on a Trick Room team, because the first turn of the game is the most important turn for a Trick Room team. So I wanted to break down some common Trick Room setters, right? If you take a look at this chart right here, you can see that I have things like Kali-I, Dialga, Palkia, Lunala. Those are some of the restricted to get Trick Room. But then you also have like, Armarouge, Hatterene. What you want to do is to get 2 to 3 of these Pokemon on your team as your Trick Room setter, and then from there, have them be like the exact opposite of the type chart, right? So a lot of the times in Reg I for Trick Room teams, for like hard Trick Room teams, you'll see teams that have like, Kali-I and Palkia, and that's because what are some of the things that Kali-I is weak against? Like fire and steel moves. Oh, what does Palkia resist? Fire and steel moves? Crazy. What is Palkia weak against? Dragon moves? What is Kali-I super effective against? Dragon moves? It's almost like these 2 were made to be Trick Room partners together. And then other sides of that coin, you could have things like Hatterene and Porygon. I'm actually going to talk about that right here. Every single team needs multiple Trick Room setters. Usually the way you want to set it up is to make yourself have as many different defensive types as possible, so you don't stack too many weaknesses of the same type. You can't have too many Ghost weaknesses or it's an auto loss to Shadow Rider. Can't have too many Ground weaknesses or it's an auto loss to Groudon. You also want to try and add in as many immunities as possible. Using a core built around Hatterene and Porygon 2, for example, lets Porygon 2's normal typing immunity to Ghost cover up for Hatterene's weakness to it. Let's continue to scroll down. Having multiple different setters can trick your opponent in the team preview and get them to bring the wrong Pokemon to a specific matchup. Main point here, don't be predictable. If you only have one setter and it's easy to get countered, mix it up and never let them know your real setter until it's too late. So yeah, a lot of the times that you see when you're looking at setters, when they just have like the one setter on like a semi-room team, like the Miraidon Lunala cores that have like a Ursaluna on them that only have the one setter, it's easy to like bring something that just checks that one setter. They can lead with it and they can just stick it on the board as long as possible and say, I'm not letting that thing set Trick Room, right? But when you have like 3 different setters with 3 completely different defensive typings and toolkits, it gets a lot harder for them to say, well, this stops this guy from Trick Rooming, but if they go that one in Trick Room, I'm still screwed. So it makes them have to really like go into their bag of tricks and have to counter you. When in reality, like you're just playing your game. You just pick one. They have to decide which one you're gonna pick, and it gives you all the leverage in that situation. But really, try and get ones with like different weaknesses. You don't want to stack a bunch of the same weaknesses. So if you're having 3, you could go something like, you know, Kali Eye, Porygon, and then like, I don't know, like a let's see, Kali-Eye, Porygon, and then like a Palkia, or you could go like Duskmane, who has like a ability that like reduces damage, and then like an Indity. There's 2 weaknesses to Dark there, which means your last one would want to be able to be something that resists Dark. You could put in like a Klefki there. There you go. So it's like you have a bunch of different options there. Also, weird mons like Toedscruel, you know, Executor, Carbink, those are also Trick Room users that you want to be facilitating in your games. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. So we're going to go to the next part, and we're going to talk about redirection users, because I think those are actually really important, and having the right redirection user on your team is really, really important. So let's talk a little bit about redirection and how it works. So every single Trick Room team needs a way to redirect single target attacks away from its setter. This is useful for more than just stopping damage, as we can prevent our teammates from getting hit with annoying status moves like Taunt or Spore as well. Every single Trick Room team needs at least one of these redirection Pokemon, preferably ones with Follow Me, as that can't be bypassed by Terra or safety goggles like Rage Powder can. Ally Switch from users like Ceruledge and Iron Leaves made this list because technically it does count as redirection, even if it can't be spammed like it used to in previous formats. Not that many Pokemon get it anymore, so it's easy to scout out when going into Team Preview. Yeah, Ally Switch got really nerfed going into Scarlet and Violet. Not that many things get it anymore. It has like a % chance to fail, just like Protect does, but it's still worth respecting. Like, not that many mons get it. Like, you know, Houndstone gets it, Meowscarada gets it, Ceruledge and Iron Leaves get it. It lets you just switch team positions with your opponent. So like in a situation where you read something like, let's talk about this. Let's say you have like a Porygon on one side and a Ceruledge, and you know that they're going to close combat your Porygon. You can ally switch their Ceruledge, switch the sides, they close combat into Ceruledge, and your Porygon gets Trick Room up. And remember, since we're playing a hard Trick Room team, it's one of those situations where if Trick Room goes up, we're probably going to win the game since we have 5 turns of speed control. So you need to be respectful of Ally Switch, but realistically, we're looking at these Follow Me mons. Things like Indity, all the different Ogerpon forms, Clefairy, Clefable, Mousehold and Pachirisu, stuff like that. Those are the ones you really want, because you can't bypass those with like, you know, Rage Powder, or not Rage Powder, with like Grass Terra can be used to like bypass Rage Powder and stuff like that. Is it a sub as well? Yo, thank you. Hey, I appreciate it, yo. Big day. Thank you so much on the 6 months. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Metapod Squad, my friend. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you're learning some stuff here. But yeah, you really need to have at least one form of redirection. Sometimes teams even have 2 on hard Trick Room teams. Sometimes they'll have like an Indity or a Hearth or a the Rock Ogerpon. And I think the Rock Ogerpon is actually really, really good on these sort of cores as well, because it has that sturdy plus the grass typing to be able to follow me away spores. That's why I used Rock Ogerpon at Worlds last year, and it worked so well. But a lot of these times you'll see things like, you know, the Rock Ogerpon and Indity, or Indity and an Amoonguss on a Trick Room team for double forms of redirection, and that's still a really, really solid way to play. So doubling up on that, making sure, you know, your opponent doesn't have to just throw everything they can at one of your redirection mons, and you have a secondary one in the back if you need it. Really, really good. There's also things that, like, you know, Spewpaw, Vivillon and stuff like that have Friend Guard. Clefairy also has Friend Guard, another very, very good ability. Remember, one thing we actually want to take a look at here. Does Ogerpon Rock usually run bulk? If they're on hard Trick Room teams, they do. Mine did at Worlds, but you don't have to. One thing you want to take a look at here, when you can start to do multiple of these things with one mon, you're in a really good spot. So one cool thing about Indity is it's able to set that terrain, which can sometimes take away damage from your opponent, like we're going to talk about. It's able to, take away like an electric terrain boost from a ride on that. That being said, it's able to block Fake Out, so it's able to do like a bunch of stuff defensively while still having Follow Me. We're talking about Rage Powder users with like Friend Guard. That's redirection, but at the same time, it's damage mitigation. So being able to do multiple things at once while still having a very unique defensive typing and being able to set TR, it makes Indity like so good on these hard Trick Room teams. That's why you see it so often on hard TR. But that being said, good forms of redirection here. You're going to start to see like patterns, like Toedscruel has Rage Powder and Trick Room. Sinistcha has Rage Powder and Trick Room. Those mons that get both those options are really, really good mons to slot into these hard Trick Room teams. I think one of the biggest issues we see when people submit teams for fixing that are hard Trick Room is they'll have like 1 or 2 setters, but then they'll just like fill their team with sweepers. And it's like, you need to fill your team with tech to get the Trick Room up. You know, you can't just like throw in like, I'm going to be you can't just like throw in like a Conkeldurr. It doesn't work in a lot of these situations because like Conkeldurr's not adding any value to help you get the Trick Room up. Does Figurath not really run Ally Switch anymore? I liked it in previous formats. It does. You know, I didn't list all the Ally Switch users. I just listed a few common ones. I think Ally Switch Figurath's usable for sure. So the last little part here is it says ways to take less damage, ways to mitigate damage on the first turn, right? So that's things like Screen's Grim, Screen's Sableye, Screen's Klefki. We have a whole other article talking about the value between all three of those mons and what makes them unique and viable in different situations, if you can go to check that out. Same thing for the Meowstic, another Screens user. You have Intimidate users like Incin, Hitmontop, Scrafty that also come built with Fake Out. You have Ruin Pokemon like Ting Lu, Wosham being able to neutralize and mitigate the amount of damage you take from physical and special attacks. You have things like Roaring Moon and Iron Jugless being able to go for, you know, Photosynthesis and Quark Drive booster energy boosted things like Breaking Swipes and Snarls. And you even have things like Final Gambit, Choice Scarf, Annihilate, right? That is a form of damage mitigation. If I can lead with a Trick Room Setter and an Ape that says, I'm going to delete this thing that before it can check my Trick Room Setter, that's a form of mitigating damage. Is Ally Switch good in OTS or mostly CTS? It's fine. Yeah, I used Ally Switch on my Cresselia at Worlds and it got me like 2 wins, so it's definitely usable. Your opponent has to respect it. If anything, it's there for like a bluff to make them think you're going to click it and you just don't ever click it. So, some ways to mitigate damage on the first turn. This last group is a little more vague, but every Trick Room team needs at least one of the Pokemon that fill this role. The goal here is to have something with a mechanic that immediately lowers the amount of damage your teammates can take on the first turn. Trick Room teams are so reliant on TR as a mechanic that they need to be able to get it active as soon as possible. Support Pokemon with the potential to set screens or Fake Out can be one of the easiest ways to set TR without having to play the 50-50 mind games that come along with Follow Me or trying to read a defensive Terra. Sometimes it really is as simple as leading Fake Out Trick Room and winning the game. You need to at least be able to bluff that as an option to get your opponents lead with their ghost type / Terra mons. I think it's actually really important, right? I think a lot of people think there's like some sort of like weird big brain play that you need to do to get your Trick Room up and they start to get in their own head. You don't always need to do that. Sometimes it's seriously as simple as if you have all of these options, right? If you have the option of having good defensive typing, redirection, and damage mitigation, they're gonna be like, what if they go redirect Trick Room, or what if they go Follow Me Trick Room, Screens Trick Room, or Final Gambit Trick Room? And it's like, nah, bro, it's just Fake Out, Trick Room, win game. Easy peasy. Like, they get in their own head. The things that would stop the Fake Out Trick Room aren't as good in the redirection Trick Room or Screens Trick Room and vice versa. So you need to have the ability to play with all three. And then what you need to do is take a look at their team preview and see which one of these holes can they not stop? Which one of these do they not have a counter for? Which one of these is going to let me set up Trick Room every single time? And I will say that we're not going to get up Trick Room every single time on the first turn. We're going to fight people that have Imprison, and we're going to fight people that have, you know, roar into our Trick Rooms, or like they're going to flinch us with a Rock Slide or crit us or do stuff like that. And that's completely okay because we're just looking at the fundamental basics of what this is. So I want to note that there are also tons of valuable things you can do to help set up TR. Stuff like Wide Guard. You can use Roar to stop other Trick Room / Roar setters, Imprison on their Imprison, or just using Smeargle in general. We didn't even talk about how Smeargle does all this stuff better than everything else. All of those options are valuable in the TR matchup, but the 3 I listed at the start are what you need to focus on first before expanding into other forms of anti-meta tech. Very, very important to understand the basics first. So we're going to take a look at 3 teams that were submitted that are Trick Room teams on this month's Patreon team submission post for July, and we're going to be fixing them, we're going to be using them in a bunch of games. And yeah, I think it's pretty important to like take a look at the fundamentals of like what it means to like be Trick Room teams. And remember, we're trying to play like a PvE game. We're just trying to get the Trick Room up. That's the thing we're really trying to do without losing too many resources in the process. So let's go hop into some games and see if we can make Trick Room work to our advantage. Here we go. So this is the first team we're actually taking a look at here. It's Dialga and Palkia on the same team. And your eyes do not deceive you. Like, that is Adamant Crystal Dialga. They didn't want to use Origin Form Dialga. I don't know why they have the Adamant Crystal. Like, honestly, I think something like a Leftovers or like a Citrus Berry could be better. I looked at the official write-up. They said they were using the AV on the Toxicroak. But this team does a lot of what we were asking for, right? It has redirection. You have the Ogerpon, the Grass Ogerpon. You have forms of damage mitigation. You have your Toxicroak with Fake Out. You have different Trick Room setters, 2 to 3, that have different defensive typing. Dialga, Palkia, and Cresselia have unique enough defensive typing. Like, I think you're probably fine in a lot of those matchups. You're not really stacking any similar weaknesses. So I think this is a pretty good team. It technically does everything that we asked, but I do think there are things that we can optimize. I think a lot of the Mons on their team, like the Ogerpon, can probably be built into like a Rock Ogerpon for like a guaranteed safety net without relying on an item. I think that like Rock Ogerpon's still probably better there. Toxstroke is honestly still going to be better built into like an Incineroar or an Iron Hands or something probably, because you could be adding an Intimidate to even further get that Trick Room up. And then from there, I know that they don't want to run Origin Form Dialga, even though Origin Form Dialga is so much better on this team, but we can still optimize the Dialga to give it a little bit better set moving forward. I think Ursaluna are still really solid, and hopefully get some wins. So let's play some games. So Palkia is going to be coming here again. The only way that we would lose TR here if we want to go follow me is by the Flutter going in prison or the Whims Trick Rooming the Trick Room. So in this situation, like these two will get the Trick Room up every single time. It will go up other than Imprison, other than Trick Room of Trick Room, which is definitely an option. And then we have to go Luna as our closer. And then we're really thinking, do I want Crest here? And I think you do go Crest. I don't think there's a situation in which you ever really bring the Dialga on this team. Same thing goes for Toxstroke. Like, I'm not seeing a valuable situation for this Mon. But let's see what the Typhlosion is bringing to the table. I think Typhlosion's a very, very cool Mon. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Flutter main Typhlosion. So this is giving big Imprison vibes. Big Imprison vibes. Massive Imprison vibes. And I think we can live the D-Gleam Eruption. We have Fairy Terra on our Palkia if we needed to click it, but I don't think we need to click it. Because I'd rather take the Resisted Eruption. Yeah, I'll just play standard. There's a higher % chance that they have Taunt than Imprison. Let's keep them honest. You going Fairy Terra double dip? There's also a higher % chance that you have Taunt, like standard Flutter, than like some sort of weird Fairy Terra specs. I think I eat it, you know? Palkia's thick. Let's see if they Moonblast too. Eruption, yep. So it's Scarf Typhlosion. Very good. Nice, like I didn't do anything. Don't crit my Palkia, bro. Don't do it. It's still split damage because Ogerpon's still on the board. Ripping that Specs D-Gleam, huh? This guy cruise control for cool out here. Sheesh, bro. Hey, what do you do, right? What do you do? What do you do? Not much to do. We still haven't lost yet, though. We're still okay. Great tech. You can't win them all, man. Can't win them all. There's usually a good telltale sign that your opponent has something cheeky like that when they walk it into their first slot, you know? And like, we didn't know if it was Imprison or that. Again, the EVs on these Mons need like a lot of work. Palkia doesn't need nearly that much special attack on this team. You can put some bulk on these guys, put some respect. So we're gonna try and live out. We have Dark Terra on Crest. Do not click that button. Cool, we're gonna get the Trick Room up, but we'll see. Yep. And I bet we can Oko that Flutter. Oh, I got crit here. Oh, that hurts, bro. Oh, he crit me with Eruption. Rip. Ripperoni. Don't crit me again. Nice. Yeah, we are fat. Okay. I could Psychic here and try and catch what they bring in, but Trick Room is up. We are in a pretty good spot. That Flutter can't protect. Nothing can protect. We're gonna rip the Typhlosion. I think we're just gonna... I think there is value in clicking Lunar Blessing, but I want to make sure that the Flutter goes down. Yep. EQ baby, let's go. Typhlosion's going down for sure. Flutter main went down too. Cool. It's hard. It was hard to say, right? So we didn't know if that was a Flutter that had bulk, like modest specs, or if it was like some other type of Flutter. Like honestly, we could have went for Lunar Blessing there, but we didn't need to. And note that we still have Terra as a mechanic, which is actually still really, really nice. So let's see. They can't Terastallize their Raging Bolt. They can't Terastallize away their Koraidon. Like, the Psychic's going to rip. So we're going to see. We're going to see if they have Raging Bolt here. That's the Mon that I'm most afraid of. And if they do, I think I just... Oh, it's Zacian. Cool. That's EQ, baby. And Koraidon... Oh, yes, that's game. Kind of nice, right? See, like, he went hard. He went hard. And we're just like, nope. Do you think that we'll get rid of OTS? Hard to say. I'm not that game is not a priority for me. I talked about that yesterday. Here we go. Should be game. You can double protect. You can do whatever you want. I should be able to get this. I think we Oko Zacian because it's super effective. Yeah, we don't even need to. We probably should be terastallizing our Luna. Honestly, we should. Probably could have done that, but it's fine. Mistake for me. I could have terastallized my Luna and blocked a move, but I think we still get it. I was distracted by late chats. Yeah, Crest gets that. Perfect. Cool. And we take those wins. This guy probably's like, I hate fighting TR. It's so dumb. He bro web with like Choice Specs, Choice Scarf Mon, and crit me. And we take those wins though. Double protect. He's cooking. He's gaming out here. Look at this gamer out here. Are you gonna have the triple protect? The fabled triple protect Zacian. Ugh. Not like this, chat. Let me think about it. Are you going to get the triple? Last turn Trick Room. Alright. Headlong. We'll Lunar Blessing this turn because we don't need that extra damage. Triple protect Zacian. Do it. Nah, never lucky, bro. We take those wins. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Dunzo. Cool. Yeah, Crest Luna kind of just, you gotta be this tall to ride, bro. Gotta be this tall to ride. And that's what we're trying to do when we play with Trick Room. We're trying to make them have the outplays. And, like, we took a fat L on the first turn, but, like, they just tried to win too early. Okay, Kyogre Zacian with double fake out cycling. Love this for us. Now, one other thing that you could also mention that you might want on your Trick Room teams is a Trick Room Mon that has the potential to go Ghost or avoid fake out. Otherwise, you are protecting versus whatever they're doing. We're going to leave Palkia. I think that Palkia is still good. I actually still like the Ogerpon here. Ogerpon is a really, really good Mon against, like, Incin. It forces the right responses from a lot of their Mons. Another thing we could, though, do in this situation is go Toxicroak. This is susceptible to a couple things. This is susceptible to Taunt from Torn if they have Cloak. So then our check to that would be this. You would fake out the Ogre, Dark Terror your Crest and get it up, but then this board's just weak. That's the issue with that, and I don't particularly like that. So I'm going to go with these two, and I'm going to bring the Ursa, and I think I'm going to go Dialga here over Crest. I'm going to try and win out early. I think I'm going to try and win before my TR is gone. I think this is one of the few matchups where you could actually utilize Toxicroak correctly, so let's see if we can make it work. Very, very cool picture from their side. Yeah, let's see. Torn Zacian, awesome. So the thing about that Torn is it can definitely have Taunt. And if they have Taunt, they got Taunt. They're gamers. I can't stop them from having Taunt and being a gamer. I can't fake out this Zacian, though. You got Taunt? You gaming? We're going to find out. We're going to learn today. So we forced them to be this tall to ride. And so this board that they're using right now would have just lost to that Follow Me redirection. If we led Ogerpon and Trick Room, we would have gotten the Trick Room up guaranteed, brought in our Ursaluna, and won the game. It's a good protect from them too. Is it the fabled Taunt Protect turn? And the reason I don't ever fake out the Torn here is because they're always cloaked. And if they weren't cloaked, they could just Ghost Terra. There's the Taunt. That sucks, right? Really, really sucks. It's not the end of the world. We have Terras here too, but it's like, ugh. It's going to be dicey here. So you're going to click Play Rough into me. I'm going to have to Terra, I think. I could just pivot in there, take it neutral. That doesn't do anything. In the last game, would screens have been better? We don't have screens. Awesome. Yeah, we'd probably take an L to Taunt. And so it happens sometimes. That guy would just auto lost to redirection. Never lucky. Yep. Oh, yeah, this Dialga's ass. This Dialga has like the worst set ever, bro. Okay. I don't see a way to get out of this. Because, like, they're gonna be cloaked. Oh, you don't even have Trick Room on this Dialga. Oh, no, we lose. This Dialga doesn't even have Trick Room. Oh, my God. This thing is so shit. Oh, what? It doesn't even have Trick Room, bro. Oh, my God. No. Why? Oh, my God. I'm so mad right now. All right, so Indity can have Imprison. That's one thing that can be problematic. But I think if we get the Trick Room up, as long as we get the Trick Room up, another thing you want to really focus on too is like KOing their things that can flip it back before they can become a problem. So this guy, if you have Imprison, you have Imprison. But we just need to go with a board that doesn't get auto-lost by like probably Shadow Rider Luna. Dialga's base special attack is 150. So that would be something like this. This is definitely a board state where you can go Cress. I really like Cress. And I don't need redirection here because you don't have any common taunt users. Maybe something like this. I like that. And you can just pivot in the Luna and then close with Palkia. Palkia is going to be a little bit better than Dialga here because it doesn't have that weakness. We're going to try this. And the reason why we're going with Cress is because Cress is probably one of the few mons that has a resistance to Astral on Dark typing. So that's why we want to do this. If they wanted to go like Blood Moon and Shadow Rider, this would be our out. So that Indity is problematic. It can definitely have Imprison. We're trying to force them into thinking that they want to click Expanding here. We can't change it to Dialga Origin because on the team submission post, they said they don't want it to be Dialga Origin. So I can't. I have to just change its item. Psy Seeds is pretty good. All right, what's going on? Not much. All right, so, like, we can get Trick Room up, but they can have Imprison. And so we're going to try that. We're trying it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, like, we're ripped so hard. And then we're going to pivot in here, I think. If you expanding, you expanding. We wouldn't lose the Luna, but we might lose the Luna. Yeah, the other Dialga form has a lot more base Spadef, and it has just better stats, and its item is just attached to it, the Adamant Crystal versus the Adamant. I think it's the Adamant, one of the Adamant Orbs or Adamant Crystal. Let's see if they're clicking Expanding. Okay, Terra on their side, they're ripping it. Dark Terra, okay. Weird choice. Are they trying to block the knockoff? Oh, that means they're imprisoning with the Indie then, right? And again, we don't really have the tools on the team that was submitted to stop Imprison right now. We do not have the tools. The team does not have the tools to stop Imprison. Cool. If they're going Astral, we're fine. Nice. Yep, super standard. Perfect. And he takes orb damage. Nice. And so the thing you want to really work on here in this exact situation is you need to take out that Indity before it can become like a problem. I think what I'm going to do in this exact situation is I don't know if they have Expanding Force. I'm going to assume that they do have Expanding Force. One thing we could do is just hit the Shadow Rider and Trick Room our own Trick Room to like let the Indity flip it back, and then we flip it back and get a whole new fresh coat of paint on 5 turns of Trick Room, but we don't need to do that. I'm going to just go for an ally switch here and just a facade into their Indity because I don't want them flipping it back. If you happen to go Helping Hand Astral, sorry, Helping Hand, what is that? Helping Hand Expanding Force, that would have been fine. Expanding Force itself is just fine. I'm trying to block just a Psychic here into what was my Ursa slot. Gotta get this Indie. Oh, Rage Quit. Let's see if it was Psychic. Show me Psychic. Show me Psychic, bro. Psychic these, though. Psychic these, bro. Psychic. Oh, he doesn't show. All right, well, we won anyways. Okay, Miraidon, very, very solid. Ursa is very good on that team. So this team has Fake Out with the Sneasler. This team has Terrain Control with Miraidon. This team has the ability to swap back the Trick Room with the Furrygraph. I don't see a way that we initially win this one, right? I'm not really seeing a way to win. I'm going to lead with Ursa. And I know that sounds very weird, but I think Ursa could be like the missing link that this team really does need. I think Ursa could be really good. And then I want to actually go for like a mid-game TR. Let me think about this. Because if I want to get them into the right Terra punish. So it's like that's these two. This gets them to over-respect the Dialga and I can protect correctly. And then I come in with like mid-game with like these when they're not really... Like, I don't have to TR if you're not going to bring the defensive tools. So, like, right now we're going for, like, a fake TR game. And if it works, it works. But, like, if we were to just try to redirect TR here, we'd lose. They have way too much damage. They can just lead, like, Miraidon Blood Moon. They have so many different tools here. Tornadus Luna, that is a scary board. Mucho scary board. We also have Ursaluna here. Alright, so you're going to be respectful of my Dialga Trick Rooming here. You will be. Yeah. You can Earth Power the Dialga. That's absolutely fine. Like, are you taunting? Are you tailwinding? Like, what are you doing here? I'm just getting my Ursa, like, set up. We're gaming. Just gaming. Taunt. Good play. So we see Taunt Torn. We do not need to do anything weird yet. Yeah, we need to get that Ursa off the board. That's, like, the thing that needs to happen right now. I think that's the most important thing here. Oh, I can't protect that. So bad. Sorry. I'll take an Earth Power. It's fine. Because right now, we outspeed that Ursa. They have to Tailwind. And eventually, we're going to bring in our Crest here. You see we're bringing it in right here. We're going to flip on that Dark Terror. We're going to get our Trick Room up. We're going to pivot out the Dialga for the Ursa. Like, setting up for like a mid-game TR play after they've shown a lot of their hand. They can blow a Blood Moon into this slot. I don't think it would KO. It's going to almost KO, but it doesn't KO. And you could Hyper Voice. I don't care. You might be Throat Spray. Cool. We don't need Dialga here. It's bait. Normal Terra. Nice. They're going after the Ursa, so we can let them have that. Rain Dance. That's for Bleak Winds in subsequent turns. Yeah, we just outspeed. Big damage. Should do like half, right? Oh, that's great. Blood Moon. Not bad. Let's see if it KOs. If it does, it does. Like, oh, you crit me with a Blood Moon! Oh, we were fine! That sucks. That's probably game. That sucks. That's really bad. Never lucky, right? If you Bleak Wind me, you're terrible. You gotta do something a little bit different. You got just Tailwind. It's so safe here. Tailwind Hyper Voice is good. Take your or Tailwind Earth Power. You know, take your advantage while you have it. If you want to protect, that's fine. You lose your Torn. You can protect Tailwind, I guess, to reset your Blood Moon. Not a bad play, but then it's letting me potentially. Yeah, that's not the right play. Like, if you speed drop me, I'm so upset. Nice. Let's see if this is Sash Torn. Nope. Cloak. Yeah, we have a good board into Miraidon right now. Looks like we can TR soon, but we can't. Shh, don't tell him. We still have Terra up. Senta. Miraidon's last mon. This is such a weird play. You can just hit my Luna, but I think this will get me what I want. I think you're hitting Dialga. And remember, Dialga outspeeds Luna. So if you hit my Dialga and you don't KO, and then I hit and KO your Luna, I get to then Headlong Rush your Zenta, and then it's 2 ground mons versus Miraidon, and we're probably fine. Yup. Yup. Let's go. Let's go. Solving for X out here. Perfect. Headlong Rush about to slap. Please go away. Oh, he lived. That's bad. Thought he would die. Really thought you would die. Not good. I really thought he'd go down. That's nutty. I mean, I did my best. I did the best I had. I don't think there's a way we get out of this one now. They're just going to come in and Gleam. Yep. You can go body press into my Ursa. Zenta that strong. Yeah, Zenta busted, bro. Have to do that. I don't want to. We just don't have the tools to do anything else, you know? I'm hoping that they respect the Ursa slot and maybe Dialga lives. Nah, never lucky. We don't have any bulk on this Dialga set, you know? If we had the ability to TR, we could have protected our Ursa last turn and TR'd, you know? But I'm not seeing us have a win con here. The only win con I could possibly maybe see is what we're going to go for here. And that is double protect. It's not double protect. It's this. I have to eat a Dazzle from that Specs Miraidon at -1. If I wasn't -1, I think I'd live. But if you throw the body press and the Dazzle into the Palkia, and I get to EQ, I win. That's the only play that I think is realistic. If double protect on the Ursa is too low chance. This one gives us the highest percent chance to win, I think. So let's see who they're body pressing. I think Ursa just goes down, honestly, too. I think Ursa just goes down to this Dazzle because we're at -1 and they're Spexed. But they don't have Terra behind it, so maybe. Yeah, unfortunate. Remember, we opened up this game with a turn 2 crit from a Blood Moon on a double dip normal Terra. What are you going to do, right? So we have a lot of fixing to do on this team. Going into team fixing here, there's a lot of things that work and a lot of things that don't. Palkia is fine. Ursa's fine. Cressa's fine. Dialga can be optimized a lot, and I know we can't use the Dialga Origin, but there are things that we can change here. You do not need Ogerpon, and you do not need Toxic Growth. There are definitely ways to upgrade these. Like, yes, having a Redirection Mon here would be very good. Yes, having Fake Out and other ways to mitigate damage is good, but there's better ways to do it. So, like, this can be cut. This can be cut. And the first thing here is this Adamant Orb is not doing us, like, any favors, like, at all. You'd be much better off with, like, a defensive item here. Something, I actually think, like, having, first of all, your Dialga needs Trick Room, too. Like, that's so important. You can't, like, not have Trick Room on your Dialga. And honestly, you don't need Earth Power. You can put Trick Room there, right? And you don't need ground typing over there. You need a defensive typing on your Dialga. You need something that says, like, hey, you can't just one-shot me with, like, Body Press or something like that. So Ghost is one of my favorites on Dialga. This can be the team's one Ghost Mon that we can go for that'll let us block Body Press, but at the same time, we can block Fake Out even when we don't have, like, Terrain or something on the board. Really, really solid stuff. Love that on this set here. And then I would probably put the lefties over here. That's what I like to do when I play Dialga. So this set just lets you sit in front of things a little bit more and play a little bit of a longer game if you want to play this form. Otherwise, you can play the Origin form. The things we're going to add here are going to be NDD because it's super important to fill out having Follow Me, having Terrain, having Redirection, other things like that with good defensive driving, and another setter. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 setters. Super, super good stuff. And then the last Mon here, I think the easy answer is in Sin. But I think a better answer could be for a team like this. You know, you could look into Fluttermane. I think just Grimmsnarl here, though, is actually good. I really like Grimmsnarl here. I think even Sableye could work very well in this sort of core with the right set, which is screens. I think even realistically, you could have Klefki here. So if we had like Klefki, like this is another TR setter, right? With different defensive typing. Like that's the whole point here. Yeah, let's look at the Klefki for this one. Klefki has a couple of the shared weaknesses, but at the same time, I think it is very nice because Grimmsnarl would also share a lot of weaknesses. Let's just see if that would work here. But I think that like screens is very viable. Another one that you could actually go for here is something like Amoonguss. If you wanted to take the telepathy off those guys too, that's definitely an option. Sinistcha could be a very good one there. Actually, let's think about that. What do we want to go with this last spot? What are we missing from the tool? We need more ways to mitigate damage. I think probably one of the best ones is Annihilate, honestly, right? I think this is probably one of the better ones because it makes them have to respect our ability to just go pop, pop. You know, I think that's probably one of the better ones. Maybe we'll just sit on the Annihilate if we're going to optimize the team. So we have lefties here. We're going to change this to Psy Seeds. This is what we need to be doing. Psy Seeds here is the way to make this Pokemon work. So you can pair it with like Indity to get even more damage mitigated. Very, very solid stuff. This was good. This was good. Goggles are good. Alley Switch is still fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think you need to make this guy into a Steel Terror. I think Steel is better than Dark. And then we have the ability to redirect. And so now they can't go for Prankster Taunts anymore, which means like that Prankster Taunt was probably the biggest thing in our way. This guy can go Grass to better hit its other stuff. And Final Spirit's okay. I like the Defiant here, though. So we're going to Choice Scarf it. So this guy is able to come in and just go for Final Gambits before anything really has its ways to sink in and deal those big, you know, deal big damage to our mons. So Final Gambit here, we have Rage Fist. We have Close Combat. And then I think for this last one, normally you'd want to go Coaching, but I think just like U-Turn is actually still really good. Because sometimes it's not right to do any of those other options. And you can also throw like Choice Scarf Taunt to be able to stop them from imprisoning. That's also a really solid option. Most things you can taunt, you can just Final Gambit, right? But I like the U-Turn here in this exact situation. So U-Turn is going to be good. And then for our EV spread, you can actually just click the buttons sometimes on Annihilate, but sometimes gives it the right one. So it's going to look something like that for Annihilate. Very, very standard. Nothing too spectacular to write home about. I think it's just a solid set. You're going to be able to Choice Scarf things. The thing that makes this Indity set work is the fact that it's sashed. And what I really like is Sash Ghost on this thing to help you avoid body presses and double ups and stuff like that. This is good into Ursh. This is good into a bunch of different stuff. So you're going to have Follow Me here. Trick Room, because it is a Trick Room setter. And then from there, like, we really, I think, like, what else do we, like, want this thing to have? I think if you want one move, you can put Alluring Voice on there. That's probably the best move that you're going to get on Indity. And then Helping Hand is good. Protect is good. Sometimes even just having Fake Out is good if they take away your terrain. Heal Pulse would be good in some situations. I think Helping Hand might be one of the better ones. But that being said, I don't really mind going, like, Protect, I think. I think Protect is pretty good on Indities in these sort of situations. It just elongates its presence on the board. So that's fine. You can even go Imprison here if you want to be able to just put up an Imprison and say, like, you're not flipping the Trick Room back on me, right? It's actually really, really solid in a lot of those matchups. You know, I do like the Protect, though. I think the Protect is probably the better option there. And then as for the EVs on the Indity, you want to be at speed reduced, 0 speed. We're planning on this Indity kind of going down on like the first turn. One other option you could do is also like Shadow Ball to be able to hit Shadow Rider a little bit easier. And then Indity probably wants like heavy Spadef. Usually you want to play to Bump, which is going to look probably about 196 right there. And then we're just going to dump the rest of the stats into defense. So it's pretty just standard Indity spread. I think it works fine. Nothing really too spectacular at home about. You had a good crest set. I think these are some of my sets that I've featured before, so it's pretty solid. Is Focus Sash really good on Indity if you make it bulky? Yeah, it's still bulky. It's the whole point is to just let it die. But you know that. All right, so great question, right? So what would happen if someone had like a Shenpao? Shenpao would be able to come in and just dump truck our Indity on the first turn, and we have Ghost Terror to double. We would just still die, right? And then like we wouldn't be able to correctly redirect. So the fact that like they see the Indity, they know they can OHKO it. Their flowcharts are optimized. Like for example, Indity could be full HP, full Spadef, and still get OHKO'd by like a super strong, like, you know how we got Blood Moon crit on the first turn? Is Healing Wish a move on Indity? It is. I've seen people do that. I think I don't really like that sort of playstyle. You don't really need to be doing all that. But I think this is a really, really good set. It's gonna always be able to redirect that damage, and you know that it's going to sit around for 2 turns, which means your guys are going to be able to get up what they want to get up. I think this is an easy fix from here on. I think the Dialga needs a lot of work. You really don't need to be fast on the Dialga at all. You don't need to be fast on the Palkia at all either, but like having those 4 points in there is fine. Dialga doesn't need like any points in speed. Actually getting that 110 to underspeed things that are 112s is probably better for you. And then like what I like to do with Dialga is play for the bump here. It's right there. That's all you really need on Dialga, and you just dump this into Spadef. You just absolutely dump it into Spadef. But you need to be maxing out your HP first, because it's really, really important. So a set like that is probably fine. Let's actually just cut this up into an extra point there. I think that's probably how I would be playing Dialga. And then the Palkia, I think this Palkia is fine. You played a bump there. I think I wish I had more Spadef, but the fact we have Spadef on Dialga and we have defense on Palkia, it's probably okay. You probably can go down right there and go up here. Just a little bit more defense mitigation for like body presses and stuff like that. That's probably going to be a little bit better. So let's go play a game and see if we can make this work. Pretty standard stuff. Like you have Shadow Rider, Ray. I wonder what kind of Ray that is. It's hard to say, right? Hard to say what kind of Ray that is. Let's talk about ways that they can actually stop our Trick Room. They can go Fake Out. They can go Trick Room of Trick Room on Whimsicott. Like if I Trick Room and they Trick Room, that's bad, right? They can blow us up with big single target attackers. So this is where Indity is going to be really, really good. I think Indity Ape is actually really solid because I can actually do something. Well, you'll see what we can do. We can technically make that work. I'll do that. I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys. For you guys. Don't say I'm not a team player. I'm a team player. Yes. All right. Pow. Instant. Awesome. So you see how they can't fake out me? It's kind of nice. I think we have... What's in Sin's base HP, guys? What's in Sin's base HP? Sin is 95. Annihilate is like 110, right? Yeah, 110. Perfect. So we can just dumpy that Annihilate and Trick Room. Dumpy. Dumpy. And if what do you got? You got Taunt? You gotta have Taunt. Ice Spinner. Not it. Not it. Trick Room's up. Woo! See, even if they throw chopped, we were fine, right? And so now, like, we can come with any of these. We gotta think what's the most common one here. I think Dialga is probably better because they're gonna come up with something here. I think what we're gonna do is just full send the Flash Cannon in that slot. So we're gonna pivot in here. Full send that Flash Cannon in there because the Sashes should be on the POW here. Oof. You can Sacred Sword. Absolutely acceptable. And now see our Indity can actually pivot in and set a terrain to stop like sucker punches. Oh, it's so good. Shadow Rider. All right, our Terra on Dialga is it's Ghost on both these. Space Ghost, coast to coast with the most. EQ plus Flash Cannon there is probably gonna do it. Like you can rip me here with the Ice Spinner. I don't really care. Sucker Punch? Nah, bro. Nah, we're good. Telepathy kind of busted. Oof, look at that. Oko City. Thanks for that damage shred. And we take those wins, right? Easy peasy. The two mons that we added are the two reasons that we won. It's kind of nice. Cress Mirrors with Whims. Awesome. So again, the way that we lose here is getting Trick Room here, Trick Room here. So we need to add things that stop that from happening. I want to see what Cresselia's base HP is. It should be 120, right? Unless it got nerfed, right? 120. So Cress actually could live through this Annihilate all in. That being said, all these other things can't. They're probably going to be leading Whims because they see our Ape too. So we're actually going to let that happen and go with a redirection game. So redirect. I'm going to bring the Cress. So that I'm expecting Whims Miraidon, honestly. Cress, okay. Cress and Sin. Weird. Super weird. Now, I also want to talk about this. I'm not threatened by this board at all. What are you going to do? Like, parting shot? Like, okay, like, bro, we're so good in the neighborhood. What are you going to Trick Room me? Like, I'm the one that has Ursaluna, right? We'd be taking these all the way to the bank. We're just going to pivot on our Crest. We're going to save our Indity. They can't imprison. The Crest does not get imprisoned. I freaking wish, bro. Helping Hand. He's trying to go nuts. Oof. Big damage. And we didn't swap in our Ursa there because we wanted to not lose our Flame Orb. So we outspeed there in every single situation. And we're going to think, like, what are they swapping in? They're going to swap in Suicune there. Are they going to Blessing? We should outspeed both those. So, like, we can probably just get away with Hydro Pumping there still. And I think I could try and Trick Room here. I think I could just Lunar Blessing, though. I'm going to Lunar Blessing. I'm going to Hydro one more time. If you want to swap correctly to Miraidon, that's okay. I could have read that and went for a Spatial Rend. I did not need to do anything weird. It sucks I missed anyways. Kept them honest. Are you Trick Rooming me? Don't do it. Icy Wind. All right, cool. Now I will Trick Room. TY, my guy. So we're going to pivot in probably here. Flip this Fairy Terra on and GG, shake my hand. gain that neutrality. Remember, we still have a +1 Spadef boost. And we're trying to win out with this play. Volt Switch. Nopers, you're trapped. Icy Wind. Oh, TY, now I'm so slow. It's great. So they're probably going to have TR here. Nothing that they can swap in there wants to eat this damage, right? All of their mons get absolutely dumped on. I think we can just Earthquake here. That's fine. We don't need a Facade. Facade, it's really good, though. I'll Earthquake. I'm okay with that. I will Earthquake and probably just... Let me think. Because I want to make him lose a mom for this when I do this. Yep, that's fine. I could have Facaded the Crest there. We would not have KO'd it. Ooh, Protect is so weird. So Incense down. Is Spatial Run better than Dragon Meteor? Much better, yeah, because it doesn't have the stat drop behind it. So you can come back in with this Miraidon here. I'm now intimidated, but I don't care. You come with Groudon, like I don't care. I just double into your Groudon. I think Facade, Spatial probably takes that out. You can come with Suicune, I don't really care. So the fact that they've shown all those sets, Helping Hand, Icy, and Protect, I don't think you got Trick Room in that last slot. I think you probably have Lunar Blessing in that last spot, which means I never need to respect this guy anymore. Might even have like Moonlight or something. I don't have to respect that though. Not worth respecting in the slightest. So let's see it. Let's see what you're working with. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. And that's going to be it, right? Oh, Groudon. Oh, he saved the best for last out here, right? So I can just go Facade and Spatial. Cool. Spadef Palkia is really nice. And we still have our Indity if we need it too, if we want to like get a different terrain going or something like that. I'm still saving the Indity to be able to check them right on in the late game. They're going to do everything in their power to get my Ursa off the board. If I miss a Spatial, that's very unfortunate. But let's see. We shouldn't get KO'd here. Look at that. Oof, big damage. Special Run. Oof, big damage. High crit ratio too. Very, very good move. Good stuff. And that's the game. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So that's the changes I'd make to this team. I think we made some good changes. Honestly, just optimizing the support Pokemon on this team into like Indity and Ape really does help a lot. You know, it lets us have a lot more influence on the team preview, a lot more influence on the game, and it lets us kind of dictate play and force them to react to what we're doing while still playing a reactive-esque team like Trick Room. So pretty good stuff. So here we are. The next team we're taking a look at is a lot more standard. It's submitted by one of our amazing patrons, and it uses Kali-Eye. Clear me out, Kali-Eye. I still really, really like this set. Body Press is a little deep. I think we might be able to make that back to the high horsepower. It's the Imprison Kali-Eye. Maybe this is Imprison to be able to check the Zentas. That's actually kind of cool tech, I guess. Standard Indity, I would say. Heavy defense with Goggles. I really like that set. Ground Terra does better deal with Miraidon. Amoonguss with Dark Terra. And all the standard good fixins on Amoonguss. Good investment on a lot of these things as well. You don't need this much HP on Amoonguss. You can actually drop that down just a little bit. Psyseed's Lunala, which is actually really cool. Double attack with Trick Room and Protect. You don't really see Protect that often, but I do like this Lunala set. It's definitely usable. Banded Urshi Dark with the Poison Jab, Poison Terra. I like this set a lot. I think you can maybe optimize it just a little bit, but it's good. And then last but not least, good Luna set. Like this a lot. I think this should be very fun to play. So this team was not submitted with a rental, but it's a very, very good team. I think this team has all the tools that we really do need. It has the ability to redirect. It has 1, 2, 3 different setters that have varying different typings. You know, two of them have you know, that weakness to like Ghost and Dark, but they can both tear away to either gain resistances. Actually, all 3 of them have weakness to Dark, but they can all tear away to gain either resistances or neutral matchups to it. And then the last thing is ways to mitigate damage. The only one that we really have here is Lunala's Psyseeds. So that's the part where we're lacking. So one thing that you might want to do if you really are struggling with getting like melted by AoE is maybe make this into a Grim. And you can facilitate that just a little bit better. But that being said, I think Ursh is cool. So let's go play some games and see how this one works. Bam, here we go. Again, this team does not have a rental code. Otherwise, we would have featured it, but it's completely okay. So going into Terapagos Koraidon. So they have ability to fake out. They have no other forms of terrain control other than Terapagos. So they can lead like Terapagos and Sin and actually fake out like any of these guys. That's kind of problematic. But that being said, I think we have a lot of good options here because if they want to go with stuff like that, they're leaving themselves wide open to like, you know, just getting absolutely dumped on by like a Ghost Terramon, right? So that being said, like they could just eat a Spore in the face. Let's see. I think we need to weed Indity. I still think Indity is probably correct. I do like Indity here. I think Indity and Lunala are correct in this situation. And then I would probably bring Kali-Eye And then I actually really like the Urshifu here over the Ursa. I think that's probably what I would bring, at least for this first game. I think Urshifu is going to be able to absolutely slap some of these guys. There's the Tropicos. Is it Tropicos and Sin? No, it's Tropicos Torn. And Tropicos Torn is very different because we're going to be able to redirect away that taunt. And it's going to be really, really good for us. We're probably going to lose our Entity over a turn or two, but we follow me and we Trick Room here, and we're going to be in a good spot. Now, against Tropicos, you don't really want to blow your Terras too early. And you don't really want to blow Terra at all unless you're just one-shotting it, right? So we should be in a good enough spot here. There's the Stellar Terra. No terrain. TY, my guy. Get that big damage here. Follow me. Taunt. Oh, so love it. So good. Starstorm's perfect. Doesn't do anything. That's a super weak Terapagos, by the way. Not only doing like that much to our Entity, like we're not... That's completely fine. They're probably going to Bleak Wind out here. We could probably get away with swapping in here. But I think that we might be able to get some value. I think I'm going to pivot into Kali. I think that I'm completely okay with that. And probably just Moongeist beaming the Torn is good. We want to be able to reset that terrain and come back in with the Entity to make us so we can side spam here. Just good damage on Tornadus. Like, there's not that much they can really do here. Starstorm, that's their second one. They only get 2. Foul Play. Oof! Foul Play Torn is weird. You don't see that all that frequently, but it's okay. Glacial Lance. Do we need to do anything here? If you want to KO this, I bring out Ursh. Value for me. I don't want to swap in my Ursh. That's Wild Tech. Yeah, you don't see that one that often. You do not. Nice. Dumpy. That's a +1 on my Kali. That's what we like to see out here. Moongeist Beam. Or Expanding Force, same thing. Cool. Really speeding this game up. You have a Terapagos, which is weak, and a Koraidon. You already Terra'd. Uh-oh. 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 Where are you looking, bro? Uh-oh. Yeah, you go after the Tropicos here, because you can one-shot from there with Kali. Oof. And that's probably game, right? 1%, never lucky. It's okay. It's okay. Entities, please come in this right back out. And we should be able to just... Oh, you know what the ultimate tech here is do it. Trick Room the Trick Room. Get a whole fresh coat of paint. Show me the Protect. Show me Protect. Protect! Do it! Ah, you scooped. Oh, man, we had those ones up anyways. Very, very good. Because we would have got a fresh coat of paint in our Trick Room there. Awesome. Another one. Love this team. This is the best team. This is probably the best team that's been submitted on the Patreon post in like a month. So it's like there's not that much to really do. It just kind of plays itself correctly. This team is really like it's a lot of single target mons and then like one AoE mon, but we have to win in the matchup, right? So the fact that we have this is so good. These two just say you do not get to pass go, do not collect $200. Opinion on chocolate milk. I don't think I've just drank milk in like years. I think Amoonguss is also a really good mon to have here. I don't think we need Ursh. I don't think we need Ursa here either. I think Lunala is fine. Lunala's great in the back. So we're going to flip on our Terra here. Fire Terra. Redirect away any after use shenanigans. Any single target attacker shenanigans. Oh, it's so good. And we have the goggles. We don't even need to Terra our Kali here. We can actually just like go for the Trick Room and just go for a follow me. And it's so good. So you can't go for after you. You can't go for Sleep Powder. You can go single target, but then I just get to bring out what I want. And if you hard pivoting Kali expecting me to TR, I will just imprison you. We're not wasting our Terras. We're not doing anything weird. Coaching. Yeah, go nuts. That is completely acceptable. Flare Blitz. Okay. Dumpied. All right, so we can just Spore that thing, or we can just go for like, bruh. Oh my gosh. Not like this. I want to check your EVs on your Kali real quick. Love the... Oh, this Kali should probably be a 0, but it's okay. Do I get the KO with Expanding Force here? I want to imprison here, but it's okay. We need to double tap that so we can get spored. Awesome, I did the right play. Look at me. Correct plays gaming. Great. And you're going to bring out Torkoal here, and we're just going to flip on our Terra. I think that's the right play. Yep. Fire Terra. Don't make me trick room again. This is the right play. You don't lose the Lunala Shadow Shield. You can still check that thing. Woo! Look at this. Nothing. Nothing. Zilch. Ooh, that's a +1. Now you're weaker. Kali. Awesome. So this is where if you had a 0 speed, Callie. Oh, he crit us! No! No, it's probably... Is that game? Are we going to lose? No, we're not going to lose. We're still going to win. But, like, bro, that sucks, bro. Sheesh. Okay. This is the last turn of TR. If you protect, you protect. And you are going to protect. So I'm going to take this. Oh, I'm so good at this game. You ever seen anyone as good as this game as your boy? Oh my gosh, that's so good. Trick 'em's over. I could Trick 'em here. And it will just let me Spore, and I win. Yeah. Cool. Feels great, man. We went through the never lucky Equinox too. And we take those all the way to the bank. Woo! Woo! Team's so good. One more. Love this team. Very, very good stuff. Into the Armorers. They gotta watch out for that ally switch there on that thing over there. Lots of AoE on this team. Alright, so I do think though that Calyrex is great here. We gotta watch out for them flipping back a TR on us. This is a good matchup for Urshifu, I think. Ursh is good here. Amoonguss Indity is also really good here too. Like super good. You can redirect a lot of different stuff. I don't think Amoonguss is like great though. I think Lunala is a solid lead. And Ursh is a solid lead here. But Ursh is a mid-game lead. So something like those two could be good. Actually, I'm going to go with Callie. Callie Indity. I don't think I can get away with Lunala in this matchup. Maybe it's just me. I don't think I can get away with Lunala here. And Lunala would be great, but I don't see it. Perfect. We're trying to play a little bit cheesy today. Wide guard. Ha! Taunt. Oh, I'm so good at this game. I'm so good at this game. I knew he was going to attack that slot, but I thought it was going to be with like a shadow ball. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, cooking. Good looking out here. Woo! Okay. Now what, bro? Now what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Nothing. You can protect if you want. I'm cooking here though, bro. Sheesh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Love that. Big damage on Volk, too. Sheesh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my EQ baby. Yeah, I don't need to do anything weird. Yeah, this is a good team. There's only slight changes I would make. You just protect here. Don't need to be weird. Make him hit this. Gleamane it. Yep. So still keeping the entity alive is actually still really important. So I just want to check we get in the back. We have Callie Ursh in the back. All right, cool. All right, we win if we get... I don't think that is protect. So we just double it. Awesome. Trick Room's like, it's like good and bad at the same time. It can be fun, it can be not fun, you know? A good Trick Room team is fun to play because it gives you a lot of different options. Like I said before, it's like playing a PvE game as opposed to like a PvP game. So if we take a look at like what we can do to fix this team, I think there's not really that many things. I like this tech with the body press. I felt in control of the game. Ride him around and do 0 damage D game. That's because my Ursa set is cracked, right? that's why. Because Ursaluna is kind of busted. Anyways, I think this is a good set. Very, very cool. I think you could honestly even take a little bit out of attack in this set. And I would if you could. If you could, you would need to be 0. You need to be 0, in my opinion, or you need to have like 12 points to make sure you outspeed other Callies, right? So I know you're in the chat. So like, which one is more realistic? Because, like, you need to be either able to say, hey, I know that I'm faster than you and I'm going to imprison. Or you need to say, like, I know that you have to be 0 speed reduced to be slower than me, right? So, like, which one are you more capable of getting, right? Because that would be how we change it, right? Because if you just have, like, a 31 here, you would need, like, some points with, like, a non-speed reduced nature. Because I think currently, right now, you are a 31 IV speed reduced, which, like, right now, that's the ultimate no man's land of, like, we don't know what their speed is. So, like, when we're trying to imprison them, we're living on a prayer. Versus, like, in either situation, we can start to create a board state where it would help. 3 IV Cali. That works. Yeah, 3 IV Cali is great. Cool. That's good. So you want to be the speed reduced one. And that's right. Cool. Good stuff. Love it. Indity. Goggles is good. Follow me. Trick Room. Good stuff. Ground Terror for the Marauder matchup. Good. I think the only thing that I would change here is... Nope, that's fine. 244 is good there. Love it. Amoongus, we talked about this. This can go down by 1 point there. And up by 1 point there. That's the only real change to make on Amoongus. I like the Dark Terror there. I don't think you need it, but, like, it's cool, right? And then the Lunala. This is a cool Lunala set, but I don't think you need this much special attack. Lunala can probably play to bump, which is right there. And then you can throw the rest of those points in wherever you want. Lunala doesn't really need that much more HP. So, like, what I would do with Lunala is, like, probably throw that in Spadef. I would probably do something like that. And then you have 4 points extra. Like, it's so hard to say where to put that. You don't have to put it anywhere. You know, they're just extra. But I don't think Lunala needs to be that strong. If there was something Lunala was KOing at that threshold, keep it. Like, there isn't anything wrong with your set at all. I think a 220 is definitely acceptable. The Ursh, though. I like it. I think it could work. I think it's the right set for Ursh. I think that you can optimize your HP, though. I don't think that Ursh needs, like, this much HP. Ursh gets pretty, like, redonkulous HP stats. So, like, if we were to take a look at, like, a damage calculator. Because we gotta think, like, what do we even have this much Spadef? Or why are we this bulky in the first place, right? So let's plug in, like, an Urshifu here. Or let's plug an Urshifu on, yeah, this side. What are we trying to eat? And I think, let's just calc like Kyogre. So let's just calc like a Scarf Ogre. And screw it, you know? Uber Scarf Ogre. They do quite a bit of damage if they're scarfed. Timid, you know, to our Urshifu, our poor little guy. And we have like 220 points. That doesn't really let us, like, live anything. We could maybe try and live an Origin Pulse. So, like, let's try and move these Eevees around to live Origin Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how that already lets us live an O-Pulse at a 5%, like a 0.5% chance. Cool. It's going to just be IV, so it's slower than my own LNTR. Cool. That works, yeah. So even putting, like, 20 points is going to let us, like, live through that. It's not very specific. It's not, like, really, really good, but it does work. Let's think about, like, other special attacks that, like, you might want to live with on an Ursh that, like, are worth. And you say the same thing for, like, physical calcs, but I think the special calcs are more realistic. Let's think of, like, anything that we might want to barely live. No, I think that's fine. Just putting 20 points let's there gives you, like, a percent. Oh, we already have 36, so let's see if there's any more that we can find. So let's see. Right now we have, these are our options. 188, 68. That's where I think it's going to go. So 188, 68. So that gives us, like, a 7% chance to have that O-Pulse. Like, I vibe with it. Like, you know, before we had 36 and it was like 220. See, we got, like, an extra 4%. Volt Switch Side Terrain. Okay. That's a good one. So Miraidon, 252. Let's do Modest Specs. No, sorry. Volt Switch. Volt Switch does not KO against our current set. One set, though. So that does not KO. Let's see if we give him terrain. Whoo, big dead. Yeah. Let's see how much damage if they do, like, let's plug in a Miraidon. So this is Specs Miraidon, right? If we were to flip on... Where's our Terra? Poison Terra, right? and we set it to doubles. Like that Dazzling Gleam's like a 3-shot. Like that's, or sorry, 4-shot. That's great, you know. I'm vibe with that. Yeah, works for me. If we were to take away his terrain, you know, Volt Switch lives there. You know, we live that Volt Switch there if we take away the terrain. So yeah, it's good. I think it's a fine set. Nothing too spectacular to write home about. Good stuff. If you want to change your speed stat to something, you definitely can. And this is a good Ursa set. Sorry. I like this Ursa set. It's one of my favorites. Solid. This lets you really outvalue like Urshi Waters if they want to leave with it. So good set. I think is really cool stuff. I'll post this on the Patreon fixing post at the end of the stream, but this is a great TR team. I think it's a really, really fun one, and we won every single game with it. Easy peasy. Oh, man. Yeah, your post was detailed enough. Yeah, we went over it briefly, but I really like how in detail it was. I went over it before I started the stream, so I really like how like all of the stuff was, you know, deliberately well thought out, the good team builder, good defensive, things like that. So it was very, very good. I appreciate you actually like taking the time to submit like a team that was like mostly done, honestly. All you really might have wanted to see was like a couple different like examples of what like lines look like, but I think it's very, very good. So taking a look at this last team here, this is going to be Kali-I Palkia. The last team is going to be Kali-I Palkia, Covert Cloak Palkia, Ice Terra, Snowscape. Oh my gosh, what are they doing to me? Heatran with, well, it's a Heatran, Life Orb Heatran, Light Clay, Veil, oh my gosh. Big Ursa with the incorrect speed tiers, and Amoonguss with Helmet. We gotta play some games with it to see how it goes, so wish me luck. This one's a bit of a weird one. Hail is hard to say. I think the biggest issue about this team is we only have 2 setters. And when we go up against really standard stuff like that, it gets a lot harder to make things work. That being said, we do have outs. They're just hard to find. We gotta lead Palkia, right? We gotta lead Palkia, and we don't have the redirection that we want, but we're gonna bring those 2, and then we're gonna bring the Kali-I. You gotta go Ursa here, right? I don't even think that I'm wrong. Ice Terra Heatran, dude, this is nuts. Okay. This is still our best option as it lets us check the most things. If they would like to fake out here, which they most likely will, we will win. Fake out. Oh, I'm so good. Psychic. I mean, that sucks, right? But like, Trick Room. Let's go. Gaming. Special attack. Oh, we're cooking now. Now we are cooking, good looking. I gotta watch out for Spore here. Gaming. I'm gaming out here, boys. We're cooking. Let's go. Protect, that's fine. Dumpy. Come on, come on. Hit it, hit it. No! You spoiled the wrong slot, that's fine, I don't care. You spoiled the wrong slot, that's okay. Dude, I wanted that so bad. Does Snow boost Ice type damage? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It just lets you hit. Oh, that Shadow Rider's so fat. That sucks. He's going to be able to pop us. All that because we missed a Blizzard, dude. Never lucky. That's okay. This is still a really good board. Ursa's still really good. Palkia is going to be big nap time for a while, but like that's okay. We need to make a read, and we need to... The right play is just protect and just try. We can't stay awake here. We have to. You're going to protect. You are going to click protect. Click protect. Yes, click the protect button. Please click the protect button. Protect, body press there. That's the play. Do that. Do those things. Ugh. Can't believe we missed the Blizzard, dude. Never lucky. I'll see it. Grass. Good thing I didn't take the bait. Nice. He didn't protect though, right? So, oh, whoa, he's cooking. All right. Palkia can wake up here. Bro. Honestly, this is the freaking play. Protect. Okay, double protect. Good. Palkia can wake up though. And we have telepathy. All right. So you're going to body press here and psychic here to stop TR. And if that's the case, how do I win? We don't have protect. We don't have protect on Palkia. I think the right play would have been protect Palkia. We have to protect there. We have to play super standard to try and get a new TR up, which is really bad. Yep, they just nuked this slot. Dunzo, bro. All right, we lost. Honestly, like, we would have won if we hit that Blizzard. So that was close. That was close. Like, we almost got it. Miraidon, Groudon, we can win this one. All right, so their only ways to stop TR here are Trick 'em it back, or nuke, right? So we can just lead Amoonguss in that matchup. I think it's fine. Amoonguss looks okay. Amoonguss Kali seems great. And then Heatran actually looks definitely... It looks weird that Heatran's like usable here. But it is. It's very usable in this matchup. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do this. Okay. Why are we doing this? Alright, so redirection and TR is good. I'm not seeing a situation in which that really costs me that much. But at the same time, like, Rage Powder, I'm just going to Lance. I don't need to do anything weird here. It's fine. Gain your resist. Overheat. Ooh, sheesh. Are you Trick 'em? Are you making a read? Oh, you are. Thanks for the Trick 'em, bro. Never do this play that they just did. That thing they just did, never, ever do that. Worst play ever in the history of the game. TY, appreciate you long time. We don't have freaking a water attack, bro. It's fine. If you're pivoting your Groudon, like, I do not care. Pivoting your Groudon, like, I'll take a free Veil out of this. Like, you can overheat there. I get a Veil out of it. We take those. And I just wanted to set my weather. Yeah, you were weak now. Cool. Now what? What you gonna do? I'm a +1. Bolt. Oh, good, man. Dude, I don't even need to do this. Gaming. Time to get cooked, Miraidon. Where are you looking? Woo! Palkia. Let's go, gaming. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely always want to check and see if they'll set the TR for you. It's such a misplay when they do that. Awesome. So this is fine. Oh my gosh, the snowscape over. Oh, this is so sick. Helping Hand? Yeah, go nuts, bro. Thunderclap? Don't care. Helping Hand Groudon, dude. Dude, I didn't even get to use snowscape, but I did it. Yo, wins up. Big wins up. Easy peasy. Great stuff. Palkia looks really fun here, but it's probably not right. So I just don't see a way you would ever want Heatran on this team. I'm just not seeing it. Alright, so weather is currently up the way we want it. See if they want to swap. I'll take a Veil. If you want to KO here with something weird, you can. Bro. Poison Terra, huh? Taunt, no. Lol, nope. Alright, so we just saved that. Yep. Oof. Bodied. Now I can Lance. You can taunt here if you want, but like you can pivot an Ogre and Hurricane. Like I have a Veil up. Is Abomasnow better than Alolan Ninetales on this team? On this team it is, yeah. Abomasnow is a good mon. Alolan Ninetales is not just better than Abomasnow. Like grass typing is so good. Yeah. Blind Hurricane, we take those. Play Rough, Behemoth Blade, like we take those. And that's a +1. Taunt's going to be expiring soon. Soon. Oh, awesome. Yeah, what's really cool about this is if you want to protect, you can, but like, we're cooking. Yeah, you're done. You turn. Oh, double done. You double dead. Let me hit this. Woo! There we go. And I'm going to get a regenerator proc here. So we just pivot in the Abomasnow, take away the steroid, set the TR, and say GG, shake my hand. So Veil's still up. No more weather. Look at that. Nothing. Nothing. Not a zilch. Nothing. Perfect. And that's game. Woo! Just check the Ursh here. Ursh is more of a threat than Kyogre is at this point in the game. Oh, yeah. And that's game. GG's. Perfect. So, yeah, I think this team is fun. I don't think the Heatran does anything for us, though. Like, a lot of the stuff we were talking about, like, ways to mitigate damage. Technically, this can mitigate damage by taking away steroids like weather. You could set screens. This is redirection. This is your couple different Trick Room setters with unique stuff. So, if you added a better way to mitigate damage on the first turn, you could have a lot of value here. So that being said, like, what would that even, like, look like? It's so, I think instead of a cloak here, this is a simple fix, because it's simple to what we just did before. You put the Psy Seed here, and you put the Entity here, right? This gives us more redirection, a third setter with different defensive type, and ability to mitigate damage on the Palkia, like, and stops the fake out. Because the team uses Entity. Yeah, I just put it there. Like, that's the easy fix. Like, honestly, you could take the same Entity set that we used in the last team, in the first team, sorry, and put that right there. And I think that's honestly like a solid fix to that team. Might want to change its Terra. Dark Terra on this Entity is actually best. And the reason why you want Dark Terra here is because there's some matchups where, and we're going to change its item, where if they lead Torn or Whims, they can like pivot in the Miraidon when you don't lead it, and they can taunt you to stop TR if they know that's what you're going for on the Entity. So you never want to fall for that. And then I think of like what item would be best on Entity here. Probably just Goggles on this team. Is Olo Ninetales better than Abomasnow? No, they're not. It's not better. They're completely different mons. Yeah, Grass is so good here. And the ability to like stab the grass moves, it's really good. Let's take a look at some of these EVs. You can drop that down to 20. I've just had this before. It's the same Moonga set as you should be using. Double dip ground is a choice. If you want to go ghost, you can. I think you should still be ghost, but you have now you have Entity, so you don't need it as much. Ground is definitely a choice, so use it as you will. I will say though, you probably should be a 0-speed set. You probably should still be a 0-speed set. It's probably gonna be the best for you. I think you're probably gonna get the most value out of it. These last 4 points can't really go anywhere else, so it's fine. Abomasnow, really good that you max out your HP first and then put like the leftover points in. Like, I think this probably plays to bump, right? No. So let's find bump and see where we get that. It's probably gonna be right here, right there. So that's probably a better way to play the Abomasnow. Entity's played into bump. Palkia. So 136 isn't really getting you anything. So you can definitely like play around that. I like that you were like full special attack, like speed reduced. But honestly, before you start putting points into specific defenses, you want to max out that HP stat first, and then find other places to put your stats. So like what I would do here is honestly, even something like that is a better set than one you had before. It's a more optimal way to use your stats. I would probably drop all the way down to like here and find ways to like cut this up a little bit. What I would do here is actually make Palkia. Palkia can actually function right here and just have like a decent amount of speed and be fine, because it's going to be a more optimal way to use our stats. Probably something like that is what I would do on Palkia. There's no reason like not to. I think you just get a lot of value off of it. I think the Snowscape was actually a really fun tech. I thought that was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I didn't really like the Heatran with the whole triple Ice Terra Mons here, but this set was fun. I had a good time with it. And then honestly, you just go like that. That's how I would probably be playing the Palkia here. Played the bump still, get the value. Callie, again, I think that you could put that points there, but you want to max those out first, and then you can drop this all the way down to like a 196 to bump, and then you just throw the last points right there. Easy peasy, right? With Psy Seeds, it's better to have great SpDef, even that is an even number. It doesn't really matter, but you're actually correct. So I forgot we had Psy Seeds. Yeah, so there we go. We get an extra point. Shoutouts to people correcting me. But yeah, good set. I think this is solid. Let's play a game, see if it works. Hitmontop, big fake out energy. This is a great one for Entity. So like you can just lead Palkia Entity here, and I think you're fine. Palkia seems like really, really solid. Come in mid game with Luna, and then like close with Callie for the mirror. Seems solid to me. And see how this is such a good lead for us, right? Isn't this cracked? Like terrain's up, SpDef boosted. Like, oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, we don't protect, so we have to rip. We gotta start ripping stuff here. So terrain. Trick Room, Pivot in Luna, like, just trying to get as ready as we can. Spoink. I got a really cool Spoink team to show you guys tomorrow. That's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely nuts what we do with Spoink. You're not going to believe that this can even happen. You're going to be like, wait, what? That just happened? It's one of those, like, break the game type teams. It's just so you can't dump truck me. Oh, yes. That was such a misplay from them. I used my Terra to not get popped by Helping Hand Gleam, but, like, this is sick. What do you do here? I think we nuke that because he's stuck, right? I'm pretty sure Facade just rips the KO into that guy. Rip it good. Ba-da-da-da-da. 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 Mach Punch, don't care. Terrain. Oof! Oof! How bad would Dynamo be? I've never looked at that mon as being an actually usable thing. EQ. Gotta win a speed tie. The reason why you swap out there is because if they wanted to swap in any of those, like their Kali Eye or something weird, we would have been able to dumpy it, right? If they wanted to pivot in the Miraidon, we would have been able to still get the terrain control up. And now we don't have the terrain control, but at this time, they don't have the tools to win, so we just win out anyways. Pretty good stuff. We got to 1300s on like an ult account with this team, just playing a bunch of random games today. I think this team works a lot better with the Entity and the Palkia, right? I think the telepathy, like the Psy Seeds, you know, I think that actually gives it a lot of value and still lets it do its like cool Palkia thing. So again, those are all of the teams we fixed for the Trick Room Defensive Triangle Day. I think this is probably one of my weaker articles today, but man, we've been doing this course for 2 weeks, guys. We've been doing this for 2 weeks. It's been a lot, and yeah, if you guys want to check out any of the other articles, please think about checking them out. I do think it's pretty important to understand like the fundamentals of Trick Room and, you know, what it brings to the table in terms of what you can add defensively. Remember, you want to add redirection, you want to add multiple defensive Trick Room setters, and any sort of way to mitigate damage is actually still really important. So think about checking out some of those articles. Again, all these get uploaded to YouTube 1 week after they've been recorded on Twitch, so they're all free to view on YouTube as well. So think about checking those out, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. See you guys next time.